This is Goals with Soul, the podcast for visionary coaches and entrepreneurs, building your business with inspired action. In alignment with your mission and authentic message, so you can create impact for your soul clients and feel lit up every day. I'm your host, Jo Ingram, married mum of 3 daughters from London and a former ad agency director turned business coach and strategist. In Goals with Soul, we blend revenue generation with energetics, marketing strategies with pranic healing, and ambitious business goals with our soul's desires. If you're looking to build your business with less efforting and more ease, this is the podcast for you. Let's dive in. Welcome to Goals with Soul, and today we're talking about visibility, or more specifically, the challenges of being visible and what that really means for us personally and for our businesses. And this was really brought to my attention lately because I've just had my first brand photo shoot. Now, to put that in context, I've been in business, this is my 2nd year now, and to this point, I have been scrabbling around for photography. I've got pretty good at taking some good selfies. Occasionally, my daughter will take some good photos of me, and I've managed to get together enough images for my website and for my headshots and stuff. But I knew that it didn't really represent how I wanted my brand to feel. My brand's gone through a lot of evolution over the last year, 18 months. And when I say my brand, I mean me, because we are our personal brands. The way we show up and we express ourselves online should be what's actually coming through our souls as we speak our truth and show up in our finest authenticity. Now, of course, that's not always the case, and for very good reason. Certainly when I booked my brand photo shoot, I went through all of the thoughts like, who am I to do this? Who do I think I am? Spending a whole day taking photographs of me. Now, this is coming from a person who shied away from holiday snaps. I just didn't like being photographed. I didn't like my voice. I didn't like being on video, all of the things. And here I am, 15, 16 months later, presenting a podcast every single week, showing up, loving it, and actually embracing my voice. Well, it was time to start embracing my image. And this is a lot of what the photo shoot was all about. It was time to level up for my business and to do something that really proved to myself that I was ready to accept who I am in its absolute purest form. Now, even down to making a decision about which photographer to work with was very much a decision about the integrity of my brand and how I want to show up. She prides herself on being authentic in her photography. And she was very clear that if I was looking for studio perfection, she wasn't the photographer for me. She likes to catch people acting really naturally, trying to bring through their true personality. And even though that terrified me, I knew that that was the direction I wanted to go in. Now, let me be clear about what I mean when I say it terrified me. It was a frightening concept because it means laying yourself naked and bare. Now, don't worry, I did not do a naked photo shoot. Not this time, anyway. And really, it was about my personality being exposed. And that exposure is really, really frightening because we believe that people can see into our souls and deep down we're feeling not worthy or not good enough. And as a result, we start to hide. And interestingly, I've met and connected with 3 separate people over the last couple of months who have actually experienced physical hiding, whether that was from abusive exes or other reasons. They literally had to physically go and hide. And I've had such an interesting conversation with them about what that's meant for them. Now they're out in the open and showing up to build their online business. And they have such a message to share in its purest sense about what it really tangibly means to hide. But it doesn't always have to be that dramatic for it to negatively affect how we show up in the business that we're building. The fear of visibility is so common, and I work with this fear frequently on myself and with my clients. This idea of being seen. And from a practical point of view, it can often mean not showing up consistently on social media, not doing things like going live, for example. But it can also mean something a lot deeper, even when you do show up. And I had an amazing conversation with a lovely lady just the other day who had been showing up consistently on social media for months and months. And yet her message wasn't authentic. It wasn't really coming from deep within her soul. The one thing that she had more than any other to share and to help people transform was actually being suppressed. And she was instead doing other things that were easier for her at the time. And I can resonate with that so much because that was my evolution too. When I first showed up as a business coach, I just drew on what I had and felt comfortable with at the time, which was some accountability and productivity. And although I still love those areas, my wheelhouse is now so much more in the soul side of business, whether that's facilitating breath work through to helping people birth their true purpose and understand how to bring their mission into their message. So it's two very distinct things. One is hiding and lacking visibility because you're shy or you're feeling self-conscious, which when you first start out in online business is absolutely common and understandable. But then the second part is hiding from your own gifts, not seeing your own brilliance and joining the dots between all of these parts and facets of your life that actually creates a unique message, a message of brilliant resonance for those people that need to hear it. And those people, they are your soul clients. They are destined to work with you. Once and only once they will hear what you have to say as you speak your truth. This is what I call unique messaging. When I say I'm a brand messaging strategist, this is what I'm getting at. I'm really diving in to those unique parts of you that allow you to express and articulate out in the world the specifics about what you've experienced, about the knowledge and skills that you have, the pain that you've been through, so you can show up in a really authentic way, speaking your truth, resonating with others and magnetizing soul clients. When people talk about selling, this is what we're talking about here. It's not about bashing people over the head and dragging them in to buy from you. It's about creating attraction marketing and sales where people resonate so much, they feel a calling and a desire to work with you. And when we talk about brand image, it's essentially about differentiation. It's no different from the years I spent working for advertising agencies in London, where we looked at leading national and international brands and we asked ourselves, how do they differentiate their product from the market? And how can we promote that so our audience understands and will purchase? No different with ourselves as personal brands. Differentiation is absolutely key. And getting the clarity about how you differ from the cluttered and busy niche that you work in is absolutely fundamental. It's more important than building your Instagram following. It's more important than building your Facebook group. In fact, it's more important than pretty much most other activities because if you haven't nailed it, everything else is like farting in the wind. It just disappears real fast. It's hard work. It's an uphill struggle. And like the lady I mentioned earlier, showing up on social media every day doesn't bring you clients, not unless you're showing up with a message that resonates. And this is why, coming back to my brand photography, I really lent in to making conscious decisions about how this photo shoot should go. It was about choosing a photographer who would see me in my authenticity. It was about showing up and being really brave. Now, I cannot wait to share the shots with you. Maybe you've seen a couple trickling through, but the reality is that when I did the shoot, I just let myself go. I knew that I wanted to express some of the spiritual side of the work that I do and the life that I live. And I dressed for it and I let myself flow in the moment. And me and the photographer were laughing. It was just beautiful. But I showed up intentionally to behave in that way. And it wasn't immediately comfortable for me. I had to overcome my own inhibitions and know that this was important work. Yes, for myself, but also for the people that need this message too. And I knew that if I can show up brave, playing big, authentic, then others can be guided by that in the same way that I've been guided by others before me. Now, I don't know if I'm going to like all the pictures because I do like an Instagram filter. Look, I'm 47 years old and I'm not immune from societal pressures about aging. I love hitting the filter on Instagram and these photos are not filtered. So am I going to love every aspect of them? No, I know I'm not. Am I going to share them? You're damn right I am, because it's going to be me. And that's who I am these days. And just before I pop off, I want to share a little magical synchronicity story with you. Because my photo shoot, part of it anyway, took place in Spitalfields Market, which is in Shoreditch in the East End of London. Now, coming from a Jewish heritage, this was the area that the Jewish immigrants first settled in the East End of London. And in fact, my grandmother was born in a house in Shoreditch. And knowing that I was going to be doing a photo shoot there, my sister had given me the address. And when we arrived in Shoreditch, I asked my photographer if she knew this road. She said she didn't, and we were pushed for time. So I just followed her, and she said she knew some really beautiful places to take photographs. And we spent a lovely day doing just that. And at the end of the day, I was preparing to come home, and I gave my husband a call, and he said, "Oh, don't rush. Everything's cool. Why don't you pop to the shops, enjoy Spitalfields Market, take some time for yourself?" And I thought, you know what? Damn right. Great suggestion. I'm going to do just that. And so I went a different direction and was heading towards a shop. And as I looked up, I literally saw a street sign for the name of the street my grandmother was born in. For anyone interested in London East End history, it's Fournier Street. And I was like, wow, that's the road. And as I looked more closely, it was exactly the road that I had all my photographs taken in. I'm like, my voice is catching. I'm really moved by this because when I asked my photographer if she knew the street, she said she didn't. I let it go. But before I let it go, I said to the universe, wouldn't it be fun? Wouldn't it be magical if somehow we found that street? And forgot all about that request until the moment I just described, when I realised that not only did I find the street, but I'd actually had loads of photos taken in that street. In fact, 9 doors down from where my beautiful grandmother was born. So that was a beautiful day for me. It really all came together in a very meaningful, spiritual way. And today, as I lean into some inspired action from the heart, I'd like to ask you to consider, perhaps journal about, what has deep meaning for you? What is some truth, some brand authenticity that you haven't yet shared with the people that are meant to hear it? If you feel so called, share it. I would love to know. Tag me. Send me a DM on Instagram at iamjo.ingram and tell me what comes up for you. I'd love to know. And if you want to dive into this more deeply, to be truly seen and to have help articulating what your soul brand message is, now's the time to jump on a call with me. The link is in the show notes. And so have an inspired action week. Take care. Bye now.